How's it going?
Oh, great. It's going great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely, sis. Absolutely. I love it.
Now, I would like for you to introduce yourself.
Okay. Well, my name is Shanae Jenkins,
That's right.
but everybody knows me as Miss J. So please, Miss J.
Miss J. Cool,
okay?
cool.
Okay,
Cool.
Miss J.
That's the street name. We like that. We like that. So tell me about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from?
I'm originating from Harlem. Okay, I live on Long Island right now, but I'm from Harlem. I went to Central Park East School, right in East Harlem, and then from there I went to Harbor Junior High School, and then I went on to Music and Art High School.
That's right.
Originally we were on 135th Street, and then they moved down to Lincoln Center. Just, you know, born and raised Harlem.
What part of
That's
Harlem?
where I'm from. Well, it originally was 126th, and then my mom and I went up to 145th Street, and I was there for...
Where on 145th?
145th and Broadway.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, 145th and Broadway. So that's all my friends, you know,
I was up there today.
135th. Oh, yeah.
That's the hood. That's my hood.
Exactly. You know, it was great. It was great. And then when I got a little older and got my own place, then I moved to 112th and 7th.
Okay.
So, you know, right by the park, what have you. So, yeah, I'm a Harlem girl.
That's
but
right.
moved to Long Island, now I'm a suburbanite.
Now you got some grass.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been feeling that, like, I need some grass in my life right now.
Yeah, get some grass, you know, tree lines, and a little,
do something with a cookout, you know.
It's cool, it's cool, it's cool.
I know that's right. How long you been
That's
up there?
funny. I've been on Long Island for probably 20 years now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
a long time.
You look about 20. Come on now.
No, I'm serious. Yeah, like about 20 years.
Yeah.
Little secret, I'm going to be 50 in like another.
Ooh.
Yes, yep, I'm going to be 50 in like another year.
I love it. Happy birthday.
Yeah,
happy year. Yeah.
But
we got all this wisdom right here. I love this.
Yeah. But about 20 years now, so I'm a real suburbanite.
That's right. You about that life. Also, I want to get into your career.
Okay.
Master Plan, you know, we focus on small business owners that follow their dream, follow that voice in their heads that says, you know, you're special. Go do this.
Okay.
You know, and so I want to follow you through your journey.
Okay.
Writer, director, producer.
Yes.
Tell me about this.
You know, it's a really simple story that sometimes when I think back, I don't know how, it's so simple, but it's so beautiful to me. So basically, I didn't know that I was a writer. But it started, so first and foremost, I have these journals from when I was in 3rd grade. And inside these journals, this 3rd and 4th grade, there are plays. I wrote plays. I didn't know what a play was, but I actually have characters, and they all have speaking lines, and it's a story.
Right.
Who knew? And my mom saved them. So when I look back at that, I'm like, wow. So I know that sometimes there are things in us, the things that we're doing as children, we don't realize may come to life as you get older.
That's right.
So I have always been involved in community. Everything is community-based. So in junior high school and high school, I was part of a group called Respect Yourself Youth Choir.
I love that.
Which was founded, and it was ran by Bob Law.
Okay.
And Bob Law, a great man, is out of Brooklyn. He's done a lot of stuff in the community in Harlem and Brooklyn. So being a part of Respect Yourself Youth Choir, I did a lot of community service. That's what we did. We sang, we gave up our time, we raised money, and we would give to our people who needed the money.
Right. What age were you at this time?
I mean, I'm probably 14, 15, 16. I did this for years.
That's an important time period for you to be doing that type of work.
Right, yeah. I mean, I gave up Christmases, and I would go off and do things for the choir as a choir representative. So I always had this thing in me where I started out by writing poetry. It was just something, and then I'm like, okay, I was the part of my high school newspaper. So it was just this writer in me, but I didn't know. And then one day, I'm on the train, I'm on the 2 train, okay, and I'm going downtown to work, and these 4 young ladies, I'll never forget it, they got on the train, and the discussion they were having about themselves and the boys and the night before was so disturbing.
Right.
So I could see that everyone on the train was uncomfortable, but I was concerned and intrigued. I was intrigued with the fact that they were comfortable to talk about that.
Right.
Their activities and themselves in that manner, that they allowed themselves to be perceived that way by the young men that from the night before. And then I was wondering, like, well, what could I do? Because I wanted to get up and just go over and talk to them and say, you know, what's going on? Why are you guys seeing yourself this way, operating this way? And then that's when I decided to write my first play.
Oh, that's awesome.
Called Sleeping Generation.
Sleeping Generation.
Yes. So I had no idea how to do it. I didn't know what to do. I just knew that I had something to say. So I sat down and I wrote my first play, Sleeping Generation. And then at the time, my mentor was Reggie Bythewood.
Okay.
And, you know, Reggie's an incredible writer. So I said to him, can you help me with this? I showed it to him after he laughed because it looked like a college thesis versus a play, like a script.
It wasn't like, broken down into
what is this character? Right. It was just like,
so this is what's going on.
Right. It's like, okay. So once he showed me what to do and I really got into it, I literally got some actors together and I did my very first play.
That's
because
awesome.
It was important to me to talk about, and I realized that's a way to get people to listen. You know, Reggie, as my mentor, he said, he gave me a lot of advice, but the one thing he said was, you can get your audience laughing, or you can shock them, and when they least expect it, stick the truth in their mouth.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I kind of just went by that mantra, and I was like, okay, I have to do this thing. So that's how it started. So I was literally in my 20s.
That's right.
And I just wrote, you know, I just jumped. I took a leap of faith and wrote it.
Awesome,
did
awesome. What was the outcome of that play?
I actually did the play. I did this whole thing, marketing. I had it announced on the radio.
That's right.
Oh, I forget the name of the space. It's right on 72nd Street and near the highway. It's, I'm totally forgetting the name of the place, but I rented the theater space, got the actors together. I directed it myself. Like, it was an incredible experience. And I ended up, I ran it for like a weekend.
That's awesome.
I just did it.
That's awesome. How did you feel after that?
I felt it was incredible. And then I knew, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to make a difference this way. I want to send a message out this way.
That's right.
But then I realized that the actors that I had, they were adults playing the part of students. And I'm like, no, I want actual students. I want young people.
Real representation.
That
makes sense.
So
that makes sense.
But it was great.
Wow. So what were you doing? I mean, so this was a passion turned career. What were you doing for like your day job at that point?
My day job, I was a medical biller.
Okay.
You know, do medical billing.
That's a real job.
No, it's a real job. You know, turned to office manager. So I had that stuff. So I had my day job. Plus I'm a mom. So I'm raising my kids. I'm running my household. I'm working my full-time job. But then I'm volunteering. I'm working with teens. I'm having rehearsals and doing my play. You know, at the time I was still singing a bit, so I'm going to open mics and I'm singing and I'm doing my poetry. I
bet you be getting deep with the poetry. I just feel it.
Like I did a book. I did my own poetry book.
Yeah,
content, style, and expression.
Awesome.
And I just did it for me. I didn't really do anything with it.
You know, so that was my first production was publishing a poetry book.
Nice.
And so I had been writing, like you, I had been writing since I was a little kid, and I had all this material.
Right.
And so it was like, let me just put it together and compile it. And once I put it out, it was like, I don't really need to write poetry no more. I want to write other stuff.
Right,
you know?
Exactly.
But it was just, I needed to release it. I needed to actually execute a project.
Right.
And once I got out there and I started marketing myself, it's like, oh, you start to understand how the business works, how people perceive you as a published author.
Right.
You know, and so there would be no master plan of any shows had I not actually gone out and done that.
Exactly.
So
that's how I feel about me just continuing on, because had I not put the book together and you know, these poems, it's everything. It's about love, family. Like, I just threw it all in there.
That's right.
And then when I saw the response from people, I was looking around like, wait, really?
That's right.
You know, it was just some emotions I had.
That's right. That's right.
Like this?
That's right.
Oh, okay.
Good. You read it.
Yeah. You know, my friend had a brunch one Sunday. I came in, had my books all in this really fly basket, and I did a couple of poems from the book, and next thing you know, people were like, I'll buy one, and I was just like, really?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Not that I didn't believe in the poetry, it's just that was just a vehicle to express, but here I'm writing plays, you know. So it was interesting. So it was a couple of things that kind of got me started in that regard. Yeah.
What's your writing process?
So my writing process, it just depends on what I'm writing, because I write several things all at once. I literally do more than one project at the same time.
What does that look like? Like, so hold on, take me to your house.
Okay.
Do you have a writing room? Do you write all over the house? What does it look like?
Right. So I have, first and foremost, I have a lot of books just like this.
That's right.
And there's some by my bed, there's some in the office where I work at, there's some downstairs, because anything comes to me, like there's a running joke in my house. Just in conversation, you can get an amazing title, a slogan, a mantra, anything. So the minute someone says, if I say something that I feel like, whoa, I love that, or someone in my house, I'm like, the famous line in my house is, we know, that's a t-shirt. Because I always say that, oh, that's a t-shirt, you know. And I have a list, and my list says that's a t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt.
And it's just all these different things.
Nice.
But
you need to have a journal with that on there.
That's a t-shirt. Well, I said I'm going to get a shirt that says that's a t-shirt. So my writing process is, if it's a play, if it's a film, or a film, full-length feature or film short, the first thing I do is I think about a song that's going to motivate me. That's the first thing I do.
Okay.
So I think about a genre of music that's going to take me to a place.
That's right.
Depending on what it is that I want to write about. And when I hear the songs, then all of a sudden scenes play out in my head. And when the scenes play out in my head, then I go to paper.
Okay.
And I just think about the idea. Sometimes I dream about it. And so that's why I keep the book by my bed. And as soon as I wake up, I jot it down.
Right.
And once I sit down at my computer, I go into the zone. It's like I see it.
Right.
So when I say this next thing to people, they really look at me like, are you serious? But I'm being completely honest. So if I know that's something I want to write about, I go to sleep on it. I dream about it, but just before I wake up, it replays back to me like a flip book, every scene. And as soon as I get up, I just start writing.
Really?
Yes,
I want to say, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm on everything. So
I can't even, like, some of my dreams I can't even remember.
No, it's like replay. It's like it recaps everything that I dreamed about, that I was dreaming about. It recaps it, but it goes like a flip book.
Really?
And then when I wake up, I can recall most of it, and I'll say, oh, that's right. That would have been dope right there. That would have been dope right there.
This is your calling.
That's my process.
Right.
But when I was younger and that was happening to me, I didn't know what it was. I didn't appreciate it. It was very scary to me. It was really scary to me.
Right.
And I just didn't understand it. I was just like, I need to, Mom, do something, because I'm having these dreams and it's really scary. But I didn't know that it was just stories.
Wow.
Or it was, if I'm moved by something, then an entire play or film is going to formulate in my brain. It's going to, and it just turns into a flip book. And then I get up and I go.
And you just write. How long does it take you to write?
It really depends. Sometimes I can write a play in a day.
Wow.
Sometimes I can do it in a week. And that first initial writing process for me does not take me long. I mean, it could be days, it could be hours. Where the length of time comes in is once I'm done and now I'm going back through it to see how I feel about it, or I'm doing a rewrite, or I'm taking this part out. So for example, I am part of a group, and so I wrote a short. I wrote a short. It's probably like 20, not even 15-minute short.
Okay.
For the director from the group, he wanted a piece for his company out of state to do. So we discussed what we wanted it to be about, and I wrote it in 2 hours.
Wow.
And I sent it to him.
How many pages are we talking?
Well, it's a minute per page, so it's about 20. It's about 20 pages.
Wow.
That's not long. That's not long for me.
Yeah, I believe it. Wow. Sis,
I wrote
mass
it.
production.
Yeah, I wrote it. I sent it to him. What do you think? Oh, this is great. What about this? Okay, you want to put that change in it? Oh, can we add a character? Bet. Add a character the next day. Send it back to him.
Right.
So literally within a week, he's got the full script done. Is because once I'm going, but here's the thing. I do a lot, so I'm a big multitasker, and it's not like busyness is one of those, okay, I have a priority, so I've got to write, but then I have to stop to handle this or take care of something in my house or whatever. I literally come right back to the point where I was at. Like, I just come right back. It doesn't leave me.
Yeah.
So if I step away and come back, as soon as I read the last line I wrote, I'm already back there in my head. Man. I can't explain it. Man. I know. It's like I love it that much that it.
That's God. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. He
did this.
That's right.
He did this.
That's right. I'm glad you're running with it.
He did this.
Awesome. So we need to go to a break.
Okay.
I definitely have some more questions to ask you, but let's go pay our bills, all right?
Okay.
We'll be right back. And we are back with Miss J. She's given us a masterclass lesson in writing multiple projects. Sister from Harlem, you know, just you're phenomenal.
Oh,
and just to hear like your process, I feel like I'm a baby writer, and I know that I need to like write more because I have all these stories. And so everything you're saying is like, what do I need to do?
Right.
You know, I'm jotting it down for myself.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they're learning because you know I'm picking up game for myself.
Right.
You know.
No. Respect. I totally get that. I totally understand that.
Now, as a writer, director, producer, you're also a business owner.
Yes.
You know, this is your business.
Yes, it is.
You know, can you talk about some of the challenges that you've experienced?
Oh, definitely. With having a theater company, funding is difficult. Selling tickets is difficult.
Right.
You can put in the time and put up the production. You can market, and especially now with social media the way it is, it's a marketing blessing, if you will, and really getting people to come in and support theater, support off-Broadway theater that's the most difficult, challenging part of all of this. I love all types of theater, and I'm always paying attention to other productions, and so, you know, there's certain plays I'm like, how could this play run so long? Where do they find the people to come in to see it and say, you know what, this is amazing. So to get backing to fund a production to run longer than a week or a weekend, that's very difficult.
Wow.
That's been the most difficult thing for me.
What have you been doing so far?
As far as the
just out there, because I'm asking for myself, you know.
Oh well, I mean, so the play "Like Me, Love Me, Love You." I ran that, so that has been going on for about 1.5 years.
Okay.
Because initially I started out and I said I'm going to do something different, and we did a college tour with it. So we were blessed to go to. We've gone to several colleges with that, and I mean the response has been phenomenal. Again, because the characters are college students, and it focuses on loving yourself before you can love anyone else.
That's right.
And just seeing all the different types of friendships and relationships. So it went over well. It went over well.
I bet.
And then I decided, okay, let's run it. So we did that. We ran it for a week in June. It was so difficult to fill the seats.
Really?
So difficult to fill the seats.
Why is there not a culture for theater? What's going on?
You know, there needs to be a bigger culture for theater, okay? Because there are some productions that run and you'll say, wow, are you serious?
Right.
But the seats are filled every night. It's just, you know, I don't want to separate it by race or anything like that.
I got you.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And especially, my mom exposed me to theater at an extremely young age.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
So I don't understand the amount of money that is spent on sneakers. Or now you go to fast food and you're spending a good fast 20.
Right.
You could do theater. You could come see an amazing play.
That's right.
You don't know how you affect the young person. They may see this and say, wow, this is amazing.
It could change your life.
It could change. Okay, so just to piggyback on that really quickly, in regards to changing your life. Right now, I go to a facility in Far Rockaway. I go to a place in Far Rockaway, and I work with the young adults there doing theater workshop with them, volunteering my time, exposing them to theater. But the young lady that has me coming in was a student of mine when she was in high school. Now she's a grown woman who is a social worker who writes her own plays, and she sent me a letter, and she said, it's because of you that I do this, that I write plays and that I'm doing this. And so now here it comes back. It changed. I had no idea she was going to be affected from doing one play with me years ago at her church. And she remembered me so many years later. So you never know what is going to happen. There are a lot of teens that have done theater with me, and now they're all doing their own things. They have their own production companies. They're really doing it. So
that's right.
Why not expose?
Yeah, you know, I grew up playing different instruments. My mother had me playing the piano when I was 7. Then I was a band kid. You know, I played band in college. You know, and so for me, like arts, one, kept me out of trouble, but it just does something to you. Just being able to create. You know, it gives you that confidence.
Yes.
You know, like I want to fit in, but if I'm not accepted, it's all good because I got my instruments, I got this, I got my craft. I'm good at something. I can build towards something. And you know, with the cutting of arts programs in schools, you know, you could see that. You could see, you know, like that depression in kids when they don't have that creative outlet and they're looking to fit in, they're looking to be accepted.
And it's important. You know, excuse me, when we do improvs, I always have this one that I do called In a Perfect World, which gives them the freedom to really express what it is they would like to say to an adult or how they feel, and you will be surprised at the feedback that you get back. Or when I go into an after-school program, and these are kindergarten from 6th grade, and we're doing a play about bullying, and the kindergarten kids have more to say than the 6th graders, and I mean standing up, speaking well.
Wow.
And saying, oh, that's what that's called?
Yeah.
Oh, that happens to me all the time. So why not? So the biggest thing for me with my business of Theater in Motion is selling tickets when it's time to sell tickets, and just getting someone to back quality and say, you know what, this is great. Let's have this run. Let's bring in teens and college-bound, you know, young adults and expose them. That's really the point of why I do it. So yeah.
Now, I was able to, and thank you for inviting me to see Like Me,
Love Me,
Love Me,
Love You.
Like Me, Love You,
Like Me, Love Me, Love You. I know, that's a long title. I've never done that before. This is my first time.
I was like, she really just want to confuse people, but I dig it. I like it all. I love it all.
I never do long titles, but that one I had to do it.
No, it's all good. It's all good. One thing I noticed, and I was able to stay, you know, for the in-between period. I was able to see, you know, how you interacted with the cast members and how much they loved you and respected you. How does it, you know, as a sister, you know, running your own business, doing your own thing, as a leader, you know, what's your leadership style and how do you handle your team?
Well, my leadership style is open floor because although I'm the leader, we're still a creative energy. We're a creative energy together. We're creative minds together. So I believe in an open floor because I'm down to listen to hear whatever. Doesn't mean I'll agree or say yes, but I believe in that. And the cast, they love that. You know, I have to point out that some of the cast members that you saw, they've been doing theater with me since they were in middle school. Wow. And now they're in their 20s. Wow. So we're talking years.
That's right. That's right.
And then some of the cast members just came on board with me a year ago. But it's just like that respect factor immediately. Like I immediately appreciate your talent. Right. And so when that is in there and I give them a voice, I'm open for suggestions because that's how we're going to get the best work. Right. And if, you know, I may say, no, you know what, that's not going to work. But for the most part, it's always this open floor energy.
That's awesome.
And that's how I
and you can tell. You can tell. And I was able to speak with Khadijah. She came on the first season, you know, and like she spoke highly of you. Oh, thank you. And you can just tell, you know, like when people love to be around you, it's like, yo, she's doing something amazing.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
That's so cool. And you know, the thing is, I was for years, well, not for years, but for a little while, I was able to do my theater out of a dance school on Long Island. So that was great. But then when they closed their doors, I had nowhere to go. I opened up my home. Okay. So I've been doing my rehearsals and things with teens and young adults out of my house since 2010. Since 2010.
That's amazing, though. Yeah. You saved some money.
I explained to my family this is what it is. They work with me, and
Wow. How supportive is your family?
Oh my gosh. Well, my youngest daughter, she's been acting with me since she was in elementary school. So she can literally speak in front of anyone without flinching. Right. My household is very understanding. It's an autistic household. My son, he's been producing and doing music since he was 13 and creative artist. So it's always this clear understanding about the art. So they've always been super, super supportive all the time, helping me whenever they can.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's right. That's love.
I love
That's
it.
love.
Family business.
Yeah.
Family
I'm gonna
business.
teach you the game, and then you
That's
repeat.
right.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, in a time like, we got a new president, we got a lot of social issues going on.
Right.
How do you use your platform, one, to address the social issues? And then how do, like if something happens today, like how would you bring that into your place?
To my play?
Yeah.
I'm always able to bring in current events because I'm always listening to people. So I listen to see what people are talking about, what they're concerned about.
Right.
And based off of that, I can create a piece or I can create a play that focuses on that. So now you bringing it to light, and just the whole agenda is just to open up the floor for more conversation and more dialogue. So, bullying has never died down. It is, sadly, it's still here. But I think that what happens is we'll focus on something and we'll pull back on it until something happens again. Then it's like, okay, let's bring it back, to the forefront.
Okay.
So, for instance, I did the bullying thing for a long time. I literally ran the same play about bullying for 4 years. Okay, we went everywhere. NAACP had us come in. I mean, we were everywhere with this. And I tried every media outlet I could to say, hey, look at what we're doing about bullying, and no one was paying attention.
Right.
So, unfortunately, with the incident that happened in the Bronx, a while back, PS 116 in Jamaica, Queens, had us come in. We were
Tell the audience about the incident.
with the young man who was being bullied by two boys at school in the Bronx. I don't know if it's high school. I think so. And as a result, with the last altercation, he ended up assaulting both of them, and one of the young men died as a result of the injuries. So now, Board of Education and schools like, hey, we've got to jump back on the bullying thing again, but it should have never died down in the first place.
Every generation needs to address this.
Exactly, because if you can't just say, well, we work with this group, it's just a continuation.
Absolutely.
It's a continuation.
Absolutely, because it continues into your adulthood, it continues in offices,
and workplace.
It continues.
Oh my gosh.
So everybody needs a course on bullying.
Thank you. And that's in the workplace. The last job I had, I was a supervisor. I had a team, and so there was bullying that was going on, but they didn't know I was using some of my directing, acting techniques on them, and they had no idea to wipe out the bullying, and they became a unit.
That's a superpower.
And they didn't even realize that I was using my acting.
That's right. That's right. Use what you got. No, that's awesome. How have you seen people in your audience impacted by your plays? I'm always I'm really, really moved when I see people. It's not even about the tears. It's about the genuine look in their eyes and their genuine facial expression when they're just like, how did you, the most effective line for me is, how did you know I was feeling that way? Wow.
So the minute someone says that to me, because again, you're just writing something hoping that it'll reach someone, that they will feel away and be expressive. And when people say to me, how did you know I was feeling that way? Or, how do you know that I went through that? My dad saw Like Me, Love Me, and he stood up and he was just like, and the cast had no idea it was my dad. And he said, how do you guys know what I went through when I was in my 20s?
Wow.
And they were just like, huh? It's like, how is it possible? I did a play once, Daddy's Girl, and I'll never forget, it was this dude in the audience, big dude, and he got up and he said, I haven't seen my daughter in 3 years, so I'm gonna go give her a call.
Hold on. Shavar, what's up?
Time's up.
Okay, so let's let her finish that statement, sir.
I talk way too much.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yep, go ahead.
And then I'll close it out. I still need to ask her where we can find more about her and things like that. Okay?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Your father. Tell me about that experience again.
He basically said once he saw the play, he basically was floored and said, how did we know that he went through that when he was 20? So when people relate to something or they're affected, that's when I know that I'm doing the right thing.
That's right. That's right.
That's how I see it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, we could do this all night.
I know. I gotta,
Well, I know you got to get back to Long Island. You know,
yes.
you got to get on that road.
yes.
You know, but I appreciate you so much for coming out.
No, I appreciate being here. This was awesome. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for even giving me the platform.
Absolutely. Yes,
Thank you, sis. I appreciate
we together.
it.
We together.
Yes.
Yeah. And whatever I could do to help, you know, get some ticket
thank you.
sales, you know,
Okay.
let's plan it out. You know, let me know what you have coming up, and then we'll plan it out.
Okay, that'd be great.
But definitely let the audience know how they can find you and what you have coming up.
Okay, so I can be found. The website is Theater in Motion as one word, and that's THEATER.
Okay.
Okay, so theaterinmotion.com. Also, IG is S as in Sam, HARNAJ 6802. And our YouTube is the same, Theater in Motion. You can
Okay.
see some behind the scenes for YouTube. We're actually performing. We're doing a lot of things at school now for bullying. So that's what we have coming
Okay.
up for 2018.
Great.
And hopefully I'll have a new date for Like Me to come up in February or March.
Okay, great. And if you need us to show up with the cameras to, you know, give you some plug on our platform, we'll do
Okay,
that.
awesome. That'd be great, sis.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. We got each
Okay.
other.
Yes.
You know?
All
yeah,
right.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for
Of
having me.
course,
This was
of
great.
course, of
Thank
course.
you.
Thank you so much
All
for
right,
coming.
Monica, thanks.
Well, that was another episode of Master Plan Season 2. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Miss J. Make sure you check her out. Until then, if you'd like to see more of Master Plan and all the other shows that Young Boss Media is doing, please go to youngbossnetworks.com. All right, take care. God bless.